that was happening is actually a logic loop of some kind of I don't know, you know those Indian loops that they have?
I've never used that one. I'll have to have a look.
So there's that, and I chopped that. I don't know. There's a lot of fun little producer gems in there.
Yeah. It's a great track. Are the drums real?
Yes and no. The drums are both. They're programmed. I mean, for most of the tracking of that song, it was done on a programmed blend of programmed beats where I used let me think, maybe like a Motown kit in Logic, the loop, and chopped that up and made my own little pattern with it. You know, like there's a Motown kit, and I used the kick from that layered with probably some MIDI kick or something to give it a little punch. And then at the very end of it all, when we had it down, it felt very kind of on the grid, you know? And then after all of it was done, we had our friend and amazing drummer, studio session drummer, Kyle Fair. He layered on a live drum track just to give the whole thing a more live party feel. And I had to lock it into the grid and quantize things a bit, but it still just gave it like the different dynamic shifts and fills and things.
Gives it that human element. You can hear it.
Yeah.
My guess was it was a real drum set.
Yeah.
Just like I was guessing that the gang vocals were, some of it was live and, you know, all you guys together.
Yeah.
So yeah, congrats, dude. It's great record. Everyone should check it out.
Thank you.
All bangers.
Next of Kin is the record. Next of Kin.
Yeah. Absolutely. I guess, is there anything else that, you know, has been on your mind that you'd want to share with the audience?
I think we covered a lot. We covered social media.
Covered a ton.
A little bit of sync stuff. What else? I don't know. I think we really did cover.
That's cool, man. I feel like we did a whole slew of things here that people are gonna love. I don't know if I asked you this the first time, but I'll ask you this time, and maybe your answer has changed. But I asked this to every guest: is what's one thing that, like, at the very beginning when you were getting started, maybe you did it or maybe you didn't do it, but you would wish you had known this is a good thing to double down on? What would be that one thing that you'd want to impart on the listener who's maybe more at the beginning of their journey than you are?
Okay, for sure. I would say, and this speaks to some of the comedy stuff I've been doing recently, but it's true for any creative endeavor. In order, I think, to be like increase your chances of success in any endeavor that you're doing, really identify to the best of your knowledge at the time what you think you'd be best at and the cross-section of that, what you enjoy doing, and pursue it. And don't think about it in terms of what is, quote, practical, or don't dismiss something that you might be better at because it seems less practical. You know, I would say, for example, that what got me initially into composing for commercials was the Jewish kid inside me that says, well, that sounds more career-y and jobby than say, like, becoming just a pure creative or musician or performer or those things, or doing comedy in any sort of professional way. That's hobbiness, and I got to get serious. I got to think practically about music. And the only real music careers out there are like either composing for movies or advertising. Like, those guys have jobs. The other stuff is just adolescent, you know, pipe dream stuff. So I'm going to, like, put that aside. This was like my initial musical journey, like when I was literally majoring in music in college, how to make those decisions. So I basically pivoted and said, let me just, like, okay, that's all sort of high school, college, fun music stuff. I'm going to now shift to career music and focus on writing for commercials, film, television. And I compartmentalized the fun stuff of the arts that I was doing there and, you know, went to the more practical stuff because it resonated more as a career thing. Whether or not I was best suited to become a commercial composer or film scorer or things like that. Now, I'm in a way grateful I did that, even though it might have been mistaken, because it gave me so much technical skill and ability. And remember that you don't know yourself as well as you think you do in any given moment. So always be open to things and try things. But I would just say, don't be dismissive of things, parts of your skill sets and potential that seem maybe less practical if you think you really have a unique ability at them. And this really applies a lot to my abilities as an impressionist and my mind as a comedian. I just for a long time shelved that as just this other child of mine that I was neglecting. And music was my real child. That was the one I was doing professionally and seriously. And comedy stuff, that was another child that I wasn't giving any attention to. And it was a real shame because it turns out that that child has tons of potential to connect with a huge audience. I'm fortunate that I found a platform that's really conducive for it, and I've gotten that validation from an audience of people through that platform. And maybe it couldn't have happened anytime sooner, and I'm grateful, and I have no regrets because over the past, say, decade, all the endeavors I've done in pursuing music, quote, professionally has taught me what I like more and opened me up to different styles and improved my skills and made me a producer when I wasn't one before. So you don't even know what you like necessarily until you get good at certain things. But I would say now that I'm like about a decade in, I can sort of see the landscape in all of these things from a more macro level, a more bird's eye view. And I can see where I'm like, I can see like competitively, like there are guys who are really, like lab rats, like they can be in their lab 24/7 and they can compose all day long. And that's fulfilling enough. They can do that. And I probably won't be on that level, and that's okay with me. It doesn't mean I won't compose for film and television. I am doing that. I'm in that world doing it, but I'm also not afraid to identify the areas where I really think have what to offer. And that could be also on the comedy side or in specific ways. Maybe it's because I'm a musician. Maybe it's music and comedy cross-section that I've yet to discover or an act I've yet to put together. But I'm now much more open to doing that and seeing that can benefit me on a successful career level just as much of anything else, if not more, because ultimately I've discovered that it's really about what makes you competitive and unique that's going to connect you with an audience that could sustain you and support you. So don't deny those things to yourself because they don't fit into some sort of practical box. The way, I compose for film and TV is just more digestible to, your old notions of your, of the Jewish boy inside me who was looking at careers and saying, that feels more legitimate. I think it's all legitimate if you have real skills and talents to pursue that you think make you unique and competitive. Do them. Don't deny any of them. Work, but just work really hard and put in the time and the grind. That's what I would say. It's all complimentary.
I love it. And it's like I've brought this up. This has come up many times on the podcast. It's just like you got to double down on yourself because there's nothing else is going to make you unique or make you stand out in the crowd. You just got to be you.
Right. And I think I can't say it any other way. It's just that I would say just don't deny things to yourself that maybe you really have potential in doing, but also, just make sure you're working hard at it, and that's it. That's all you can do. And the only practical, I think, hat you should wear is paying attention consciously to what's working, what resonates, I think it was like Bill Burr who said, look, we're all eating out of the same shit sandwich, So you write your own horse shit, you put it out into the world, and you hope people respond to it. That's all you can do. All right? That's all you can do. You hope people respond to it. But you write your own horse shit, you put it out into the world. And we're all eating out of the same shit sandwich. And it's true. So the only thing you can do is do the best you can do in all of the things that you think you can do. And challenge yourself to things you don't think you can do and see how that goes.
Yeah. Amazing, dude. So good. Ami, what a pleasure to have you back on the show. It was great to schmooze with you again and get so many insights and so many different things, not just strict music production. So thank you for that.
Thanks, man.
And how can the audience find you online these days?
You can find me online at, on TikTok, it's at AJ Comedy, Instagram at AJ Comedy, and also YouTube at Ami Kozak Official, also at AJ Comedy. My website is www.amikozak.com. You'll find music stuff there, comedy stuff there, links to Distant Cousins. You can also follow Distant Cousins at Distant Cousins Official on Instagram and distantcousinsofficial.com. Thanks again, Ben, for having me. It's really fun.
Yeah, dude, I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day, and it was great to schmooze.
Yes, it's not that busy. You know how it goes. But I do have to get to work. But yeah.
All right, cheers, man.
All right, Ben, be good. Thanks, man.
All right, you too. Stay safe out there. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Secret Sonics. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Ami as much as I did. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our other episodes, I'd super appreciate it if you would go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and review. It really helps the show. And if you could share this episode or your favorite episode with a friend or two, that would also really help the show move forward. In addition to that, you can find us on social media. Just search for Secret Sonics. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And you can email me at secretsonics@gmail.com if you have any comments, feedback, guests you might want to recommend, anything like that. So that's about it for now. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe out there and dig in. Bye-bye.